Good morning, and, and welcome to First Parish Medfield. My name is Louise Rachin, and I serve this congregation as a member of the Worship and Music Committee. Our Reverend Dave has a well-deserved day off, and just wanted to let you know that this congregation was gathered in 1651, and this historic meeting house was built in 1789 on the unceded land of the Nipmuc. I'm welcoming everybody who's here in the sanctuary, who are streaming from home. If we have any new visitors, I hope you will join us downstairs for our social hour. Well, now I'll have Patty Castle read our chalice lighting for us.
Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every life.
Thank you, Eva. Welcome to this place. Here we search for truth and understanding. Here we celebrate life and contemplate its mysteries. Here we share healing and wholeness. So whoever you are, wherever you come from, whoever you love, we welcome you to this congregation. Now I invite you to rise as you are able and join us in singing hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Ever Blessings, found in the Gray Hymnal. And now, let us open our hearts, still our minds, and enter into a time of prayer and meditation. Let us call upon that light which shines in each of us to give us strength to walk together into the future and to do the work that is necessary and which does not end here today. Let us have the wisdom to lovingly have the conversations we need to have with each other, that we must have with each other in order to grow this faith in radical love and inclusion. now I invite Patty Castle to share with us today's reading.
There are many people who spend their nights on the subway trains. Often one encounters them on the morning commute, settled in corners, coats over their heads, ragged possessions heaped around themselves, trying to remain in their own night. This man was already up, bracing himself against the motion of the train as he folded his blanket, the way my mother taught me, and donned his antique blazer, his elderly, sleep-soft eyes checking for the total effect. Whoever you are, tell me what unforgiving series of moments has added up to this one. A man making himself presentable to the world, in front of the world, as if life has revealed to him the secret that all our secrets from one another are imaginary.
Thank you, Patty. So at the end of 2023, Chaplains on the Way was in search of an executive director. So we get this resume. Michael Jones, 3 decades of nonprofit management, government relations, and public relations, former Washington, D.C. representative to the Middle East affiliate of the United States Chamber of Commerce, registered federal lobbyist with the United States Senate. So I'm thinking, did he read our salary offer? But then I figured, what the heck, I'll give him a call. And one of the first things Mike said to me was, I bet you're wondering why I'm applying for this position. And then he went on to tell me. And today, Mike will tell you why he did. And I am here to tell you it was not the salary. And it is with great joy that I introduce Mike Jones. If you're comfortable down there, you know, I like to hide behind a podium. So. Okay.
I was much more adept at that than Robert Kennedy with that mic. Remember when he did that one? Anyway, thank you, by the way, for having me in your home. And I've been here before. It occurred to me when I drove up, and I think it's probably important for you to know that whether you realize it or not, you affected my life in a small way, and many other people who came here for AA meetings when we were in need of support and help and friendship and cooperation in that deadly disease. So I've never met any of you all, but I've been in your home before, and I want to thank you for having me again. I have the pleasure of working with Louise at Chaplains on the Way, and I noticed one of your pamphlets is about community engagement. Well, this lady's engaged. She's working with Chaplains on the Way, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself, if you'll allow me, then the organization and what we do. I am indeed a registered federal lobbyist. I started off life as a boat bottom painter down on Cape Cod, and I decided one day I'd rather be on top of the boat than underneath it painting it for the rest of my life. So I worked my way through American University. And down there in Washington, D.C., I became the youngest director in the history of either political national parties. And I was the international director for that party. Now, I won't tell you which one, but I will tell you life changes. Back then, I was married to a woman. Now I'm married to a man. Back then, I was a Republican. Now I'm a Democrat. So, you know, our journeys lead us into special places. But in my time down there, I got to go to 64 countries. And I found myself from places like the jungles of Cambodia, Central Africa, all over Europe, indeed, all the continents. And one thing I learned from meeting people in the last 18 years of my life, I specialized in the Middle East. I built 10 U.S. chambers of commerce across the Arabian Peninsula, representing about 2,000 American enterprises out there. And in that capacity, I worked with Congress and administration to pass trade practices between these countries that leveled the playing field so we could sell American goods and services to the Arabian Peninsula and beat our competitors there. I will tell you this, life does change. In my career, I wasn't always the nicest guy. I did a lot of things to get to where I was, things I'm not proud of. I represented interests I'm not proud of anymore. 13 years ago, I developed a severe case of pancreatic disease, and I had 26 procedures in that time on my pancreas. A year and a half ago, they took out 2/3 of my pancreas and my spleen and did a lot of reconstructive surgery. And for some reason, I'm still standing here after a lot of times doctors telling me you probably won't be. Life changes. And in those travels and during those experiences that humbled me, I did decide to dedicate myself after those experiences to a cause that's a little greater than my own personal self-interest. And that's when I met Luis and Chaplains on the Way. And I can tell you that having been to 64 countries and meeting all of those people from so many diverse places with so many diverse backgrounds, there is an inherent dignity and value to every human soul, no matter where you live or who you are or who you love or what God you pray to. An inherent value and dignity in all of us. But for good fortune in my life, I might well be one of those folks Luis and I seek to serve every day. The first day I showed up there, the reason I didn't want to stand up at your pulpit is I'm a layman. I don't feel like I belong up there. I belong here speaking to you eye to eye about a very important topic to me, and that's our unhoused friends. The first day I showed up there, I didn't know a lot about chaplaincy. But I got to learn real quick. And here's how I learned. I sat to the side in the homeless breakfast hall that we run, that our chaplains seek to serve the sick and suffering folks who walk through that back door. And I watched one of our chaplains, and his name is Bill. And you might know that 75% of all human communication is nonverbal. So I watched Bill from across the room, and I could tell that the young man that came through that day that morning, who threw his cell phone across the room, his life was not well, his body was not well, his spirit was not well. And he came through that back door of our breakfast hall. Because that door is open to you, no matter who you are, in that UU church in Waltham. That door is open to you because no matter what has happened to you, we know deep down inside there's an inherent value and dignity to your soul. And I watched Bill, and that man was angry and probably detoxing and furious. And I couldn't hear what he said, but I heard that young man tell Bill, I heard him with my eyes, I heard him with the vibe, what was going on with him. And our pastor Bill, our minister Bill, who was one of our chaplains, listened. And he didn't say much, but one of our volunteers came over with a plate of food. And that man ate his breakfast. And he started to feel calmer, and I could see Bill reach him. And he became calmer. And his inherent value and dignity came out, and Bill was able to reach him and offer some additional ancillary services that our volunteers are there to do, such as refer you to a detox program, get you down to the police station for some health care, various other things that we do. go bags for folks who need some assistance, feminine hygiene products, clothing. Those are the physical things that Luis and I can do as laymen, and that Chaplains on the Way can do as an organization. But it's that reaching of that individual, that pastoral care that I saw from across the room, they can't be replicated, because that young man found some hope in that hall that day. And I can tell you, as somebody who was in this church for a very similar disease, alcoholism, all addiction's the same, you know. But for the intervention of some good folks in my life, I might well have been there one day myself. And our family members might be there one day themselves. There's mental illness in that room. There's hardship, there's addiction. People have given up on these folks, but I think that with enough of us not giving up, valuing their inherent dignity, our chaplains can reach out to them and integrate them to the rest of the community, and that's what Chaplains on the Way does. They're on the way to these folks with love and support and help and warmth, and especially for our female population in Waltham. We offer that safe harbor for folks. You know, sometimes the men can take care of each other. They form sort of pods, and they'll camp together and they'll protect each other. But there are vulnerable populations amongst that vulnerable population that we work with. And we go out and talk to groups and ask that these folks not be forgotten. You know, you walk down the street, it's so easy to not make the eye contact and to just keep going. We live, as I said, in the most amazing place on earth. I'm the son of an East German immigrant who cleaned houses. And we weren't given a lot of legs up. My husband's family neither, you know. But we live in a beautiful place where at least we can help one another in a free and fair society. And, you know, that inherent dignity and value, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what you do matters. What you do when you leave here matters. What you do when you walk past that individual on the street matters. How we love each other matters. You matter. Luis and I have the privilege and opportunity to help people we will probably never even meet. And it feels good. And that's why I like to do it. That's why I like this occupation. That's why I like running that program. We do a lot of good things down there at that hall, and I could not do it without her either. She is an awesome partner in all of this. She works over 40 hours a week volunteering. Duncan will probably tell you this because she's absent all that time from cooking dinner and doing all those other things. But we're in it together. What we do matters. How we love folks matters. Please don't forget about these folks. And we appreciate you. And thank you for having me in your home. And thank you what you did for me personally.
Thank you, Mike. I need my notes. I don't speak off the cuff. And now Don Roth will join us and share with us our offertory announcement.
Well, in this community where we welcome you, no matter who you are, what you love, or what you believe, which our first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every individual, we are pleased to be hosts to Chaplains on the Way, who help make such people more visible and less transparent. For us to be able to be strong and successful, we need your financial support. So we hope you will give generously to our offering today, which will be split 50-50 between ourselves and Chaplains on the Way.
And Eva tells me that the next hymn, As Saffron Trees Now Capture Fire, is pretty new to us, so she thought she will run through it one time quickly and then invite you to join in.
As saffron trees now capture fire, and memories of hope inspire, we'll praise imagination's grace, the human heart's best resting place.
Let us call upon that light which shines in each of us to give us the strength to walk together into the future and do the work that is necessary and which does not end today.
Until we meet again, we share our sacred trust to live in light, to do the right, and grow in loving care. Amen.
And now I will virtually extinguish the chalice that already extinguished itself. Now ends our worship. Let our service begin.